Have you ever found yourself noticing how some people build wealth so effortlessly, whilst others find themselves working two jobs, longer hours, and even overtime, yet still feel financially stuck? The simple truth is that the wealthy have a financial blueprint that they keep very close to their chest. If you're new to this channel, hi, I'm Rajj, a finance coach, a qualified accountant and finance architect. And on this channel, we talk about personal finance, investing, and business opportunities. So let's step in where I will explore some of the 6 assets that are the worst assets you could buy to kill your wealth and something that's keeping you very, very poor. I would suggest to eliminate all of these where you can, especially the very last one, as it's the most deceptive one of them all, where you will find somebody else very rich at the expense of making you poor. Number 1, buying a new car. The feeling of buying a new car, the smell, the new status, the respect, the attention that it grabs will make you feel so empowered that you are leading the race. You'll be one of the very few who have the latest car registration plates, seem to be driving a brand new car out of the showroom, giving you that symbol, that status, and that very feeling of success for a matter of only a few weeks. However, the moment those wheels drive off the showroom and out of that car dealership, this will mean you would have lost at least 30% of the car's values before you even reached home. It's like throwing $18,000 out of the window after buying a $60,000 car. The first 5 years of a car's life cycle will mean that it would have depreciated at least 50% of its value. This means that that $60,000 car that was bought 5 years ago would only be valued for $30,000. Warren Buffett, who is known for being a billionaire, would drive a used Cadillac, as he famously expresses, cars are expenses and not investments. Real wealth will only be abundant through owning assets that appreciate, not depreciate. Buying a car that is around 2 to 3 years old with low mileage is considered a very wise option. Number 2, designer clothes and accessories. Buying that Louis Vuitton bag or Chanel bag, $3,000 or even a $15,000 Rolex watch might give you the financial status you warrant. However, most people carrying these expensive designer labels and status symbols are simply draining their cash by creating a temporary illusion of prosperity. The paradox is quite simply luxury. However, these people often find themselves buried in debt by trying to keep up with the Jones. If you take a look at Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, he is famously seen in jumpers and t-shirts, suppressing his wealth and social status. Multi-billionaires like Mark epitomizes wealthy leaders who strongly believe generating assets is more lucrative than attempting to appear rich. George Clason famously quotes in the book The Richest Man in Babylon, "Wealth, like a tree, grows from a tiny seed." This quote is self-explanatory and means you must start something small in order to grow something and build something extraordinary. Those $500 pair of sneakers carries an opportunity cost when you could have used this to invest into an ETF like the S&P 500, where on average you could achieve an 8% return on your investment. If you were to leave the same 500 into the S&P 500, the beauty of compound interest would mean in 20 years your initial 500 would be worth 20,300. The message here is that you should reward yourself in buying something that you can be proud of. However, you must follow the blueprint and build assets first, as they will create wealth and cash flow. Only later buy luxuries, as you will own assets to pay for them. If you have designer taste, why not try reselling designer platforms like the Vestiaire Collection or the Real. These marketplaces will offer you the chance to buy these items for a fraction of the price. Alternatively, you could try Rent the Runway, who have a subscription-based model where you can wear these various designer labels without the commitment of owning the item in full. Please let me know by dropping in the comments below what's been the biggest and worst asset you've bought, as I'm curious to know. Number 3, lottery and gambling. The ever-growing popularity and the thrill of gambling and winning the lottery are nothing but get-rich-quick schemes. When you place a bet, this sends a rush of dopamine to the brain, and as soon as you win your first bet, your brain will tell you you're capable to win more. Nevertheless, the contrary to this is that when you are losing, the polar opposite behavior comes into effect, which is to win back what you have just lost and keeping you constantly chasing the shadow of breaking free. Most sporting events that we watch, the shirts or jerseys that these athletes wear, the billboards and campaign make it almost impossible for us to ignore. This article presented by the APA describes how the accessibility to place bets and to gamble has never become easier over the years. Gambling can now be done by people around the clock from anywhere, where the rise and popularity of smartphones is giving far wider access and opportunity to place bets. A wealth-like minded individual will not use their cash where the stakes for losing are so high. You would never see Bill Gates or Warren Buffett at a casino or known for placing bets on sporting events or found playing on slot machines. Instead, they use their money to make their money grow even further by investing in innovation and the stock market, where the risks are lower, but their money over time will compound, building more long-term wealth. Number 4, credit card debt. Around 4 in 10 people are caught in the financial trap of a credit card, where the speed of debt can accumulate and compound through the ridiculous high interest charges applied. Carrying credit card debt can be seen as carrying a financial enemy, often when you fail to repay your credit card statement off in full, which can simply kill your financial health. The average interest, known as APRs, typically range anywhere from 25% upwards. To put this into perspective, if you only made the minimum payment on, let's say, a $5,000 credit card debt payment, this could take up to 15 years to repay this debt off and end up costing you $10,000 just in interest. Credit card companies celebrate when credit card holders only make their minimum debt payments and are very dependent on this, as they often rely on credit card APRs as their main source of income. Credit cards are positioned as short-term loans. Credit card companies will want you to be in credit card debt for as long as possible, as this puts money into their pockets, leaving you drowning in debt. You need to become more financially savvy and use credit cards to your own advantage. This is where you will exploit all the perks thrown at you: cashback, air miles, and fraud protection, but religiously repay back the credit card statement balance in full every single month. If you find yourself in debt, there are 2 main ways of managing debt: using the avalanche method or the snowball method to simply transform your debt position to reach a financial debt-free status. Number 5, expensive gadgets and constant upgrades. Each year, the marketing budget and the hype that is built around a new gadget can be absolutely immense. When we look at a new iPhone launch and its latest features, such as a faster processor or enhanced camera, these are some subtle differences warranting a over $1,000 price tag. What I found is that the cost to replace your handset only seems to grow with relatively small enhancements. Although there is so much more that you can do with your phone these days, an upgrade to the latest iPhone is costing your wealth, where you could have used these funds to invest. You could argue there is a tendency for people to have nicer things, but this is at the expense and at the opportunity cost for your returns to compound over time. I generally don't seem to replace my handset until every 5 or 6 years, until it really does start to slow down. My suggestion here is to resist temptation that will help you not to get sucked in each time a new gadget is released. Number 6, expensive weddings. Now, I can relate to this. It may seem like the happiest time and the happiest purchase and celebration of your life now that you found your lifelong partner. But this, unfortunately, leaves newlywed couples starting their journey with a financial burden that can last for many, many years until this debt is actually paid off. Having an extravagant wedding celebration with the ever-growing social pressure can be difficult to control, as many family members feel the couple must stage a grand event. For those who are planning to get married, my advice would be to not stage an event for others. This is the couple's wedding day that should be celebrated. You must find the right balance between the cost of your wedding ceremony and the longevity of your happiness that you will be carrying into your married life together. In hindsight, I would have had a much smaller wedding and used the additional funds to have either invested in real estate or in the S&P 500, where my money would compound over time. My recommendation is to only pay for these things you have in cash. Don't overspend on your special day and avoid debt to finance your wedding that could potentially compromise your long-term financial goal. These are the 6 worst assets that you could spend your money on. If you've liked this video, please don't forget to give it a like. If you agree or disagree with any of these, or if you think I may have missed an asset, please let me know in the comment. And if you haven't already done so, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.